So if you saw my short, which I did earlier, you need to see this movie. Superman needs to be seen. Whether you're a Snyder fan, you're the Christopher Reeves fan, why can't I say that? Christopher Reeves fan, Brandon Routh, Superman Returns, Tyler in the TV show version, the CW stuff. It was on HBO Max later. I still haven't watched those. No matter who you're a fan of, you still need to watch this movie if you're a fan of Superman or just a fan of superhero movies, period. This movie is legit because Superman actually saves people while fighting whichever bad guy he's got to fight in this one, which is mostly Ultraman and the Engineer. But you have that kaiju situation in the movie as well, which that's actually funny how that even starts and gets to where it is. But the entire time, he's not just focused on what people think about him. Like I think he cares, but also he just knows he wants to be a good person. And you see that throughout the movie. And that's what makes this an awesome superhero movie. I haven't felt this way since I watched Captain America: The First Avenger. Not the best Marvel movie, like by any means, but the way they portray the character of Captain America, I left that movie like, I want to be him. I want to be a superhero like him. And this one, I feel the same exact way. I think overall, the cast is great. Everybody that's brought in is fantastic. Fantastic. Lex, Lois, Superman, those three, great. Mr. Terrific, amazing. I want to see something with just him. Well, maybe not just him, like him and like another, duo. It could be him and another character, but it's their own movie. That would be pretty sweet because he gets a lot of time to shine in this one. Also, Jimmy Olsen gets a whole lot of time to shine in this, which I was surprised by how much screen time that character gets, even though most of the characters in the Daily Planet don't really have a reason to be there. Also, Hawk Girl is the only one in this movie where I was like, you could have replaced them with any other character. There's no specific reason that they have to be there either. The only thing, this is where it gets spoiler territory here. Now, I'm not going into too many spoilers. You can watch other videos for that. But the one thing I have to talk about that stuck with me that I didn't really care for is what they portrayed with his parents, with Superman's parents, not Ma and Pa Kent, with Jor-El and is it Laura? I always forget the mom's name, but with their parents, they pretty much, there's this message that he always listens to when he's in the Fortress of Solitude from his parents, and it's been damaged on his route to Earth when he was a baby. And so he's never listened to the whole message. But the message eventually gets recovered from Lex Luthor and the Engineer, and she's able to recover the entire message. And the end part of the message is that he was being sent to Earth to take over Earth. Maybe this was in a comic somewhere. I haven't read a lot of Superman comics. I'm not going to try to say, I know a whole lot of the history. That's my guy back there. Okay, that's my favorite superhero, and always will be. But I love DC and I love aspects of Superman too. I went into this movie very excited. That was the only thing where I was like, gotta take some points off for this because it just didn't feel right. And I think it's also because they didn't flip it with showing his even deeper connection with Ma and Pa Kent on Earth. There's a couple moments where in the beginning of the movie, I think he's in the Daily Planet, he gets a call from his mom. She's like, congratulations, because he got a front page article in the newspaper saying congratulations, but he almost seems like he doesn't really care. Then there's a point where he goes back home because he's injured, he's got to rest up, and he's like outside eating cereal, and his dad has to tell him to move so he can sit next to him, and it just seemed like he didn't even want to be there really for a number of moments. It just felt that relationship felt off, where he's so in tune and wants to really be close to his actual parents, who are dead obviously because Krypton is gone, and just get closer to that side of his family. And he's kind of forgetting the family that actually, raised him and raised him to be the type of man that he actually is. That's the part that I didn't really care for. I thought if they would go a little deeper on that section, then it would make sense. Like, okay, you had this set of people you really didn't know, and they sent you to Earth for, nefarious reasons, which to me is just still crazy. And then after seeing Man of Steel and also the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and knowing like, hey, you need to be a beacon of hope, and be what these people can't be, save them, help them. And this one's like, hey, these people are weak, they can't do much for themselves, they're dumb, just take over. Be a ruler over these people, it'll be easy. That was so weird, but I thought if you have that aspect from Jor-El and his mom there, you have a deeper, more impactful element with Ma and Pa Kent, which I think the Man of Steel movies did very well. Obviously in the very first movie, Man of Steel, you see it there, you see aspects of it with Ma Kent, in Batman v Superman. I thought that movie did a little bit better. I'm not trying to do a whole comparison between the two, but that's what's out there right now because that's all people seem to be wanting to talk about. I think Man of Steel did that a little bit better. Here, there's aspects of it, but I wanted it to be a little deeper because of the story you were telling with the Jor-El and Laura situation. If I'm saying the wrong name there, let me know because I'll actually just look it up. Okay, Lara. Jor-El and Lara. Apparently. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That's the only thing I didn't like about the movie. Not that I didn't like it, it just felt odd. And again, you can go there, but you gotta make the other side of it just a little bit more impactful with his earthbound parents. That's just what I was expecting. So it just caught me off guard. When it happened, I was like, oh, that's a weird way to go at this. Okay, cool. That's what we're doing here. Outside of that, everything else is great. Even the spoilers that I found and saw for myself, I was like, okay, I figured that was going to happen. That's kind of the only way you had to go that route when it came to Ultraman and stuff like that and the reveals, and it was cool. But it also felt a little safe, so like they didn't go too crazy. I think the one thing that this movie does a lot of is it has moments. It's not like ugly or bad. I won't say. It has a couple of moments where it does feel a little bit Age of Ultron-y, where there's a lot going on. And not that it's there to set up the next thing, because this movie from the start, the very first few like little sentences it puts on the screen, it's already built up the worlds that you know you're in. And so there's a good and bad there. Good is I think this will cause people to read more comics. Because there's some things that happen in this one where I'm like, what? I don't even know what this is. This looks amazing. It looks crazy. CGI looks awesome, but I don't even know what this is. Let me go see if this shows up somewhere else, and I'll go look at the comics because there's nothing before this. So that's what I have to do. So I'm sure it's going to make people read more comics, which that part is a plus. The bad is that you do feel like you're coming into the third movie of of a series, and they haven't made the first two movies yet. Or it's kind of akin to, I guess, going back to comics, reading the 5th, 6th, 10th, comic in a series and not really knowing the backstory because you haven't read the other ones yet. It did have moments where I felt that way. Not that I was like lost or anything, but I was like, man, if someone really doesn't know about this character or know about DC in particular, they're gonna be a little lost because it doesn't go out of its way, which I do like. James Gunn didn't go out of his way to do these big grand reveals of characters. They just show up. They just show up and they're there. And then you get little pieces of dialogue as you go. So I thought he does a great job from that angle, which I think was great. It's just for some people it'll be a little bit jarring because you're used to a certain aspect of, oh, this is the first movie for this hero. Let me get a little more backstory. Let me get a little bit more of introduction for this character that just showed up. What's the relationship? What's the dynamic? It just kind of happens. It's there, and we're just along for the ride because this has been going on for years. He's been Superman in this movie for 3 years, but metahumans have been around for like centuries. Like they've been around. So there's funny moments where like the kaiju battles going on, or even there's a battle when Superman's kind of sad, and you got Green Lantern and Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific fighting this some entity from space, whatever. It's just happening, and Lois she just kind of looks at it. Lois just kind of looks at it, and she's talking to Superman. Just kind of looks. This is just normal everyday stuff. And I love that aspect too, because like people are used to this. Superman isn't a brand new thing. Nobody's like in awe. They're like, hey, he's cool, he's great. He is more or less a popular symbol, but they are also used to this because heroes have been around. This isn't a new thing. So I thought that was great too. So it makes me excited for what DC is going to be doing and what's to come. I think that's great. But overall, not a lot of like big cameo reveals. There's one, and I was like, oh, that was cool. It's quick. But it's not a whole lot of cameo reveals. This is Superman's movie. Nicholas Hoult as Superman. I'm sorry, Nicholas Hoult. He did actually audition for Superman, but as Lex Luthor, he's amazing. He probably steals the show a little bit for me, outside of Mr. Terrific, who I thought was great. And also, just another side note, this is more of a rambling video. The Lois Superman dynamic was perfect, pitch perfect. It wasn't a whole lot of it, and I like that. Like they tease little aspects here and there. The majority of their scenes is really the interview she does with him towards the beginning of the movie. And I thought that was great. I didn't want a whole lot of Superman Lois dynamic, really. Like I know how that is. I want to see more of just how he's dealing with just his own stuff, and how she gets involved. I thought was great, and that brought more of Mr. Terrific in, so that was cool too. I thought this movie was fantastic. It's all I wanted from a Superman movie. You get great action. He's actually fighting people. He's He's saving a lot of people. That's his main priority, is to save people. And when he fights people, either the city's been evacuated or they're going to a, like in the trailer, an empty baseball field, a place where people can't get hurt. Everything about this was great. And just all the dynamics involved and understanding why Superman does what he does, I thought was fantastic as well. So it was great. I keep saying fantastic, and Fantastic Four is coming out in a couple of weeks. We'll be talking about that one next. But this is great. My family enjoyed it. We all went and saw it on Saturday, and we thought it was great. So you have to check it out. If you're a Snyder fan, whatever, if you're on that side of the internet, you still gotta watch this movie. This is Superman. Like that should be the whole point. Not like which director did it or which actor's in the role. Is the portrayal of Superman on point, and is the portrayal of all the characters involved on point to what we know, or kind of just think for some of these characters? You're gonna get it from this movie. So I think you should definitely check it out. It's awesome. I loved it. I want to see it again. I'm definitely gonna buy this one on Blu-ray when it does come out. So it's gonna be awesome. So let me know your thoughts though in the comments below. If you've seen the movie, a lot of people have seen it. A lot of people saw it early. If you have seen it, thoughts in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think and what you would rate it. Again, for me, 9 out of 10. I just take off that 1 point mainly for the Jor-El Lara dynamic there, which was just odd and a little bit jarring for me, and what I could feel certain people might think when they're watching this movie, because you're just dropped in. You're dropped into a story, like literally. But it's a little different from like the Batman, who've been doing his thing for 2 years and it's just him. This one, you've got 3 years Superman's been going at it, but you have decades and hundreds of years that superheroes and metahumans have just been around. So it does feel a little bit jarring in moments, the things that you see. So again, your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. Like the video, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.